Hi there, Z here, and boy, am I really Okay, can we just kind of drop the whole, YouTube attitude of I'm so happy to be here and to do this, because I'm not. I'm really not. I'm dealing with a sickness for past week or two. It's either been like one big sickness or it's been like a bunch of small sicknesses like stacked on top of each other. Don't ask me which is which, because I don't know. I didn't go to the doctor, because let me tell you guys something. If you think I'm going to go to the doctor and give them my hard-earned insurance money when they already take our organs and sell them on the black market, then you got to think. Okay, things are going downhill real fast here, guys. I guess if I had to think of one positive thing, it would be that, hey, I've been able to play a game that's been in early access for quite a while, and, I finally able to, kind of really delve deep into it. So now that I'm kind of getting over the worst of it, we could finally start talking about it. You guys know what I'm going to be going with. It's an alpha-ass review. It's Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. Okay, I gotta go, guys. I think if I have another beer, it'll be fine. Or maybe a shot of whiskey. Maybe I could get hooked on meth or something. I need something. I'm dying inside! Now I'm going to come right out and say this for all of you Mountain Blade fans out there who are looking for a fellow die-hard fan to review this game and explain to you how it differs from the previous one and all of its downloadable content. I am not that man. I was not even aware that this game series was a thing until I saw Bannerlord on the early access list, but I have played a lot of Total War and Civilization installments and consider myself a fan of those strategy type games, so at least I have some experience in this. And I know, before you even type one word in that comment section, I get that that's like saying, oh, you enjoy the BBW type of pornography? What a coincidence! I enjoy the Futanari type. What a small world we live in. I get that all of these games are very different from each other, but to anyone who bothered to look at the trailers and the reviews, boy, it looks a hell of a lot like at least Total War. You have real-time battles, sieges, different factions with relationships between all of them, with specific heroes for each army. At a passing glance, they seem very similar, so that is my long and very rambly disclaimer saying that I have nothing to this series. I've played a lot of the different types of games that kind of look like this in the past, but I'm coming into this with literally no allegiance to the previous one, alright? Okay, so, Bannerlord, which, by the way, that's what I'm just going to call it from now on, because I can't be fucked to say Mountain Blade 2 every single time I mention the game, is a strategy action role-playing game developed by Tale Worlds Entertainment and is one of those projects that's been in early access for like 6 months now, which I know sounds like super long. I personally have always been in the mindset that if you can't finish your game in a year of it being in early access, then you just have to kind of give up on it. But hey, it's only been 6 months, and at least it isn't on the development time of Star Citizen, so it can't be too bad, am I right? I mean, I guess it really doesn't mean if it's good or bad, it just means that it's not a complete scam. So, how is the game? What is the whole point of it? Well, there is a single player and a multiplayer to go by when you initially boot it up. I really haven't played any of the multiplayer because I have what some would call a strategy gaming form of PTSD given to me by Koreans who absolutely wrecked my shit when I was 13 years old and playing StarCraft Online in my parents' basement, but the single player has a couple options to it. Custom battles and campaign. Custom battles is simple. You set up an army, what's in each army, push buttons, and boom, you're in a real-life action fight that you kind of get throughout the game. Campaign, on the other hand, is what I would suggest the most. With that, you're taken to a multitude of screens that explains what faction you belong to, how you grew up with your family's background, your personal achievements throughout life, and how you and your brother escaped from an army of bandits who murdered both your parents and kidnapped your other siblings. With each decision, you get action points that is put into so many attributes and skills that it will make a D&D nerd get a chubby, and after all of that chaos, you are finally thrown into the game with only one thing in your mind: vengeance. And this is where the first signs of the actual gameplay come in. I mean, after you walk through the tutorials and learn how to play the fucking game, this is the map view. From here, you'll be walking around the map, chasing down looters and bandits, and massacring them before inevitably imprisoning the survivors, and stripping all of the dead from their clothes and their weapons to trade them in for gold at the local small township. And it's here that I noticed something that immediately gave me 2 whole points to this game. It's not turn-based! I won't lie, this is a bit of a bias because I hate turn-based anything. I feel like it slows down a lot of good games out there, what ruins most of the fun from any Final Fantasy game. Well, that and the awful dialogue and the characters that looked like they raided RuPaul's dressing room. No, this game has a mechanic where time only moves whenever you move. So if you want to constantly be running around, burning time as fast as you burn surrounding villages, that's cool. Or if you want to actually use, I don't know, some strategy and plan out your trips a bit better, hey, it's okay. Stand still and enjoy your time wizard powers, Gandalf. But yeah, at the beginning of the game, it's really almost too easy. Apparently, you and your brother survived the attack with a group of heavily armed knights who easily wipe out any low-geared looter or raider in no time flat, but don't get too used to them. Because as soon as you catch the man who stole your siblings, your brother leaves the group, and apparently those 8 knights were just his friends and they were just having pity on me the entire time. So from then on, you are now on your own to forge your own life and raise your own army, and still, it's actually pretty fun. You go from town to town, faction to faction, trying to find anyone who would be willing to let you buy some of their troops so you can start chasing down looters and raiders of your very own and leveling up your members of your army to a badass armor-wearing, horse-riding, bloodthirsty warriors. But let me tell you, it's a whole hell of a lot to get to that point, because it's like you're training babies at the very beginning. The peasants that you recruit are armed with sticks and farming equipment, and some typically die before a harvesting scythe is even swung in the enemy's general direction, and if that's not enough, you also have to feed your army and pay them for putting their lives on the line, and it isn't too bad when you have 7 old farmhands fighting for you. They don't complain about what they eat, and they're paid for what I imagine bar wenches get paid in this timeline, but the more levels they grow, the more they want to eat, the more they want to get paid, and the bastards are so needy that if you lose 5 out of your 80 soldiers in battle, or don't give them a king's feast every single time they want to eat, their morale goes down, which affects your combat stats. But to be honest, I can deal with all that. I can deal with all the minute details of this game because, honestly, either for the benefit or the dismay of this game, it's a pretty simple game compared to all of the other medieval strategies out there. Other games would have you control cities and diplomats and assassinate heads of state so you can corrupt their subjects and dismiss the rule and all that other shit. All I've really seen from this is follow the story by saving your siblings, fight enemies around you and all the other looters and everything to gain a bunch of experience and notoriety, sell the prisoners into slavery and their grandfather's armor to a toothless turban-wearing blacksmith, and complete a quest every so often. Now, this game may have more to it. I have no problem admitting that. But I am 20 hours in, and all I have to show for it is an army of around 70, my dedication to a faction because I couldn't be fucked to spend 60 hours to make my own faction, and a person who's trying to turn everyone against me with literally no other instructions besides, hey, you should probably stop that. I even went to the bitch and talked to her, and she's like, oh, an insurrection against you? Well, I wouldn't know nothing about that, so I'm not even giving you a speaking prompt to go for. And I have no quarrel with the idea that maybe I missed something, a prompt or a tutorial that I glazed over, or maybe the alpha isn't as far into the game, so I'll just have the same quests over and over again without really getting anywhere. But with that being said, I'm still having a great time with the game. I really am. It's hard to determine if the game has glitches or the developers haven't gotten around to 80% of the game. Like this, for instance. This is the perfect example. From the beginning, it seems like the developers couldn't be fucked to get voice actors into this game because the NPCs stare at you with their dead oblivion eyes and you just have to read text, which, it's fine because let's be fair, putting voice acting into a game isn't always the best option.
To whom? And your goddamn father. Sorry, my face is tired from dealing with everything.
Acting.
But after I've accepted that fact and 12 hours of gameplay later, I'm finishing a main plot quest when this happens.
You may have one piece of the banner, but it's of little use in itself. You'll have to find the other parts. But once you can bring together the pieces, you'll have something of tremendous value. The Banner of Calradius is part of a legend.
And no, before you even ask, no one even speaks for the rest of the time I've been playing this. So again, I'm not sure if they happen to get one of the developer's sisters to step in and voice this role and only this role or whatever. But besides minor stuff like that, it's still a good time. Watch your ragtag group of dreamers and, let's be honest, body bags grow through the ranks to fight in their first battle armed with only pitchforks and broken backs to fighting an enemy team with equally scrappy looking warriors. It's great. The fighting is serviceable. I mean, maybe a couple points above serviceable because I'm feeling charitable and because instead of the massive inconsequential fight that you would get in a game like Total War where you control hundreds of little ant people, this one you control each of them really individually and you're right there shoulder to shoulder with them and you just feel like you're with the boys, you know what I'm saying? And if you want to do more strategy than just running on ahead and hitting the enemy dead on, hey, there's a system for that too, although most people will just pick the lazy option and just kind of go head forward, let's be honest. And if battling is becoming too boring, maybe raid a village for some random items like ore and wood and then go to a major city and work on your smithing skills and while you are there, sign up for a tournament and win a piece of armor that you always needed or most likely you'll just give it to one of your captains or sell it for some quick cash. There are a lot of stuff to be done with this game, which is why I wasn't sure if I wanted to review it. I got 20 hours in and then hit kind of a brick wall with all of the major things happening, and I told myself, hey, it's $40. It's $40. I was expecting a lot worse. I was expecting to get past the 2-hour no refunding point and then hitting a boredom wall and being stuck with it forever and ever, but it didn't happen. This has a lot to go by it right now, and with some hard work from Tale Worlds, it could be something really terrific. But as of now, if you're looking for a pretty tolerable game that has you bashing the skull of a retreating peasant because they won't let you back into the Polo Sports House tournament, well then let's give this a shot. I would say give this a shot. It's better than spending a month in the clink. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and cheers.